So now that we have seen how we can read text files, let's see other types of files. What I have right here is an Excel sheet that has some columns, namely col 1 for column 1, col 2 for column 2, and so on. And then these are values, so the value number 1 in column 1, value number 2 in column 1, until value number 10, similarly for the other three columns. So what I did is I went ahead and saved it as CSV, as you can see in my workspace. So I saved it as book1.csv, as you can see right here. And since I already have it saved, I don't need to save it again. But if I go to my workspace, you can see that this is the file that I have, which is a CSV file. So CSV is because the values are separated by a comma. Although we see them here as a table, how it's gonna be read by Java is a value, comma, another value, comma, another value, and so on. So let's see how we can read this and how we can process it. So my file is called book1.csv, and let me first try to read it and let me see what I can get out of it. So as you can see, I have my columns separated by commas and then my values separated by commas as well. Now I can divide this or split every line into multiple strings using a method that's called split. So let's see how we can do this. First of all, split is going to split the line here based on a character, and then it's going to place it in an array. So I will need an array. So let me call my array out. So string array, and let me call it out. And let me just have it as an empty array. There's nothing in it so far. The reason I'm initializing it to an empty array is to avoid any error saying that it's not initialized. Now where is my string coming? It's right here. It's line, which I'm printing. So instead of printing line, let me comment out this. What I need to do is I need to split it and save whatever value I get out of splitting into my string called out. So I'll say out is equal to, now my string is going to be stored in line dot split, and I need to provide a character or something to split based on, which is going to be my comma. Now how do I know if this worked? What I'll do is I will just create a for loop that's going to cycle over this array and going to print my values. So for, and if I just do control space, I can just make it cycle over an array, and my array is called out, which is right here. What I need to do is I need to print the values and that array. So system.out.println, and then out of I. Now let me just separate it by anything. So I will just separate it by a long space, let's say. And let's try to print that out. Before that, I need just another line. I'll just print those in the same line, and every time I finish a line, I'll just print a new line. So system.out.println, nothing in there, just to give me a new line, or we can just do some kind of dashes, so you can play with it however you'd like. And this is just going to affect how you display your values. Now as you can see, oh, I got this in one line, so system.out.println, this is gonna fix it. And apparently I need the larger line of dashes, but as you can see, I got them as strings, and then I'm printing my spaces and then jumping to the next line. So what I did here is I split every line into an array of strings. This is the first one, this is the second one, this is the third one, and this is the fourth one. The next time the content of the array is 1, 2, 3, 4. Third time is 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So at every iteration, I'm splitting the line that I get based on this character, which is the comma, because remember it's comma separated value, so I'm taking out the comma. Every time I face a comma, that means this is another cell. So what I'm essentially doing is placing the content of each cell as an element in my array at every iteration. And this is one way to read and process CSV file. Now you don't have to print it, you can do whatever you want with it. You can create a two-dimensional array and plug in your table as a table in the two-dimensional array, and later on in the code you can manipulate it. You can play with it however you like, as long as you are able to actually read the CSV file, process the contents of the cells, and then you can play with it. A quick recap: what we did is we read the CSV file, we got it separated by the comma. So what we did is we created an array, and in that array we are placing the contents of the cells as elements of the array. So these are the contents at the first iteration, second iteration, third iteration, until we get to the end of file. The last thing after the table is going to be null, and this is where we are catching that.